Good afternoon, children. Today we are going to deal with a writing skill, and that is how to write a formal invitation and its formal reply. There are two types of formal invitations. Printed invitation cards inviting guests to be present on a particular occasion. Such invitations do not include the name of the addressee. Second, handwritten letter addressed to a VIP invited to preside over a social, cultural, and educational function. In such invitations, the name of addressee appears prominently. So, children, when such a question comes, you can choose in which way you have to write. The only thing is that you should be very much careful about the way you present the formal invitation. Now children, let us learn about the important features. The names of the host. The request is made using the standard expression, request the pleasure of your company. The reason for the invitation, time, date, venue, the name of the chief guest if any, the name of the invitee may not figure in case of printed card. The third person is used in such invitations. The whole letter is written in one single sentence. RSVP, reply soon via post, is mentioned at the end of the invitation. And the word limit should be 50 words. As you know, it's a 5-mark question. The word limit should only be 50 words. So children, you should include all these points when you write a formal invitation. Name of the host, reason, time, date, venue, name of chief guest, and you should use the third person when you write a formal invitation. And most importantly, the whole letter is written in one single sentence. And you have to mention RSVP at the end of invitation. What do you mean by RSVP, children? Reply soon via post. That means you are expecting their reply. Okay. So it's a standardized use of looking forward to hear from them soon. And what do you mean by the third person, children? Because you are addressing them on your behalf. Okay. That why we are using the third person. Now let's see an example of formal invitation. Draft a formal invitation on behalf of Mr. and Mrs. A.K. Sharma on the occasion of their son's marriage. Invent other detail yourself. Okay, so the occasion is given to you as question. Now you can write as like this. Mr. and Mrs. A.K. Sharma request the pleasure of your company on the auspicious occasion of marriage of their son Mohit with Reena, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. L.K. Chopra, at Hotel Radisson Blu, R.K. Puram, New Delhi on Sunday, 10th June 2020 at 5 p.m. On left margin you can see RSVP and the address, from address also, and on the right side you can see with best compliments from relatives and friends. Okay, you can also write this with best compliments from on the below of this formal invitation also. It is also right. Okay, so children, it's a very usual example. You see the invitation card for marriage at your homes. Now next one, draft a formal invitation for the celebration of annual day of your school to be sent to the parents and other invitees. This question, okay, this invitation card is also very familiar to you. The principal, staff and students of National Public School Delhi request the pleasure of your company on the auspicious occasion of celebration of annual day at school playground on 15th November 2020, timing from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Dr. A.K. Raman, the Education Minister of Delhi, will be the chief guest and give away the prizes to the students. RSVP, Principal, National Public School. So children, this is also a very familiar invitation letter for you because every time when we conduct annual day, you will have such a letter. Now, formal invitation which is not printed. Okay, children. So, your school is holding an inter-school cricket championship. Okay, and you have to prepare a invitation letter for that. Okay, so the invitation letter you can use the same. Okay, not printed card, has the same format as of the formal letter. First you have the from address, then date, then to address, then sir. Subject: inauguration of cricket championship. Our school is holding an inter-school limited over cricket championship from 5th June to 12th June 2020. 10 schools of the area are likely to participate. Your presence will be very inspiring for all of us. You are requested to inaugurate the championship on 5th June at 11 a.m. in our school ground. Kindly confirm your availability by 5th May. Yours faithfully, Amit Chopra, head boy. Okay. So here a head boy is writing to the chief guest, inviting him, okay, to inaugurate the inter-school cricket champ. And this is how you have to write it, okay. Here a head boy is writing it, okay. So children, as I have mentioned, if you are confused with the printed format, you can always use the not printed form, okay. So that you are very much comfortable with, you can use it in the letter format, okay. From, date, to, then sir, subject, the content, and then you can conclude with a complimentary clause, yours faithfully, and you can write your name or designation. Now, very important, like formal invitation, we have formal replies also. Draft a formal reply accepting an invitation to the wedding of Mohit, son of Mr. and Mrs. A.K. Sharma. See children, now we are writing the reply, okay, to the invitation you received. Okay, you can mention the address without your name, then write the date. Mr. and Mrs. Rohit Raj thank Mr. and Mrs. A.K. Sharma for inviting them on the occasion of the wedding of their son Mohit at Legan Banquet Hall, 22 Ramnagar, Delhi on 10 June 2020 at 8 p.m. and assure them that they will be present on the occasion to wish the couple a very happy married life. So children, you can see here it's a formal reply of acceptance, okay. Here they have accepted the invitation, okay, and they are writing a reply accepting it, okay. So in a very simple way, in just one single sentence, you have to convey the entire idea, okay. So just note the words. Assure them that they will be present on the occasion to wish the couple a very happy married life, okay. So that one is important. All the other details, okay, the time, the venue, the date, everything you will get from the question itself, okay. So the format is your name without address and date. Next one, you are Mr. Ramesh, you have been invited to act as one of the judges for a fancy dress competition organized by the club. Write to the secretary of the youth club expressing your inability to accept the invitation. So it's a reply, okay, it's a letter of refusal. So again, the name without address, date. Mohini thanks the secretary of the youth club for inviting her to act as one of the judges for the fancy dress competition on 25th August 2020 in the community hall of the club at 8 p.m. but regrets her inability to accept the invitation owing to some prior engagements. The inconvenience is regretted. Okay, children. So how you can very politely refuse an invitation is shown here. You regret her inability to accept the invitation owing to some prior engagements. Okay, she had made some plans for that day, that time, that she is not able to be there at that time. And again, you add a line, the inconvenience is regretted. Okay, she is feeling so sorry that she has to refuse the invitation. Okay, so in a very polite way, okay, use a lot of simple, humble words when you write, particularly this formal reply of refusal. Okay, children, so it is also very brief. It should not be very lengthy. Mind you, 50 words means you have to keep the word limit. 5 mark question. So you can always do it in a box and make it very presentable. Okay, children. So let's recollect what we learned today. Formal invitation. Okay, children. What's a formal invitation? An invitation is a spoken or written request for someone's presence or participation in some special occasions or functions. We invite people to celebrate special events and occasions. Now let's have a look at the examples. School functions like annual function, sports function, prize distribution, competitions are the mainly asked questions for preparing the formal invitation. And we have the personal functions like birthdays, wedding anniversary, etc. Now, invitations can be classified into two, formal and informal, and we have already learned informal invitation and reply. A formal invitation is sent to people not always known personally and for the formal occasions. Now, the points to remember, it is written in the third person. The simple present tense is used. It is enclosed in a box. It is a short composition and carries 4 to 5 marks. Okay. Word limit is 50 words. The layout of the letter in separate lines. Okay. The names of the person giving in the invitation. You can make the layout in a very creative style. The standard expression request the pleasure of the company of. Okay, you should use this standard expression. Request the pleasure of the company of. And you have to state the reason of the invitation, the time, date, and venue of the event. In case a VIP is to be invited at an official function, his or her name appears prominently. Highlight, okay, bold, block letters, you have to write it. No punctuation is required at the end of a line. Okay, we are breaking a single sentence, so no punctuation. The abbreviation RSVP meaning please reply is inserted at the bottom. The address is written at the bottom without the date of writing. There is no counter signature. Okay, you are just mentioning your name. No need of signing as you do in the letters. Now an example, Mr. and Mrs. Escape Hatia request the pleasure of your company on the auspicious occasion of the wedding of their daughter Ragini with Zamir, son of Mr. and Mrs. S.N. Arora, on Sunday 24 September 2020, 7 p.m. onwards at Hotel Siddharth, Rajendra Place, New Delhi. RSVP, the address is given, contact number is given. Best wishes from all relatives and friends. Okay, children, this is an example of printed formal invitation. Now, Mr. and Mrs. Escape Hatia request the pleasure of your company. See the split, okay, split that happens in a sentence. Okay, you can arrange it accordingly in the lines, okay. You can give the names in the above statement. Then on the auspicious occasion of the wedding of their daughter, Ragini with Samir. Then again next line, son of Mr. and Mrs. S.N. Arora. Then again you have in the next line, on Sunday 24 September 2020, 7 p.m. onwards. Then the next line, at Hotel Siddharth, Rajendra Place, and next line New Delhi. So you can leave the lines in between to show the break. Okay, it's not a negative marking. Okay, in order to make it very stylish and prominent, you can highlight the line breaks with the gapping in between the line. RSVP 50 Patel Nagar, New Delhi, contact number. Best wishes from all relatives and friends. Okay, children, you are not mentioning your name in the address part when you write it below the RSVP and all, and you can give the contact number also. It is also right. Okay. So, children, note that the English etiquette requires the husband's name to be written first. Okay. When you invite someone, the husband's name should come first. Okay. No other styles is required. The subject matter is written in the center setting. Okay, always keep the subject matter centralized. Now example of invitation on behalf of an institution. Okay, how to write a formal invitation on behalf of an institution. The management, staff and students of Modern Senior Secondary School Chandigarh cordially invite you to their annual function Umang on Sunday 4 December 2020 at 6 p.m. Now children, let's see it. break wise. Okay. Now again the management staff and students. Next line modern senior secondary school Chandigarh. Cordially invite you to their next line annual function. Leave a line then again Umang on Sunday 4 December 2020 at 6 p.m. at the National Auditorium. See children, all the subject matter is centralized. Okay, you can leave the line. Pramod Kumar, Secretary of Sri Pramod Kumar, Secretary, Higher Education, Ministry of HRD, Government of India, has kindly consented to be the chief guest. RSVP Amit Saxena, contact number. Okay, children. So write it in a very stylish way when you go for this printed card method. Okay. The card admits 2 people only. Please be seated by 5:30 p.m. Okay. So after this RSVP section only you can add if any points. Okay. Any instructions to be given to the audience. After the RSVP section only you should write it. Okay. Details like dress code, use of mobile phones or any other instructions are written at the bottom. Okay. If you need to give any extra instructions, you can write it at the